Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego here in northern Florida, in the panhandle of Florida, near Pensacola, near Mobile, Alabama, with my beautiful prometida, the lovely Karina, who is from Bogota, Colombia. Actually, she's from Venezuela originally, the mountains of Venezuela, but she's been a legal resident of Colombia since 2018. Now, this video, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is the K1 visa checklist. What to take to your K1 visa embassy interview. Come on along and I'll help you. And it's some good information. Now, when you attend your K1 visa interview, once you finally make it to this very important 5 to 30 minutes of time, okay, these are the forms that we recommend you bring to your K1 visa interview. You will definitely need your DS-160 confirmation sheet, okay? You, Miss Beneficiary, Mr. Beneficiary, and any children who were on that K1 visa form, I-Form 129F, okay, each must bring a separate form DS-160. So you print the confirmation page that shows that you have successfully completed this prerequisite for getting your K1 visa. Very important, okay? Miss Beneficiary, you must bring with you, or he, to your K1 visa interview, a copy of USCIS Form I-129F, the visa petition, okay? This is a copy of the petition that your sponsor filed for you on your behalf, which will include any children, okay, in that same form. Way back when the dinosaurs were roaming the earth, if you can remember that far back when your sponsor originally filed your K1 visa. So bring a copy of the I-129F and the visa package. Remember when you were waiting for your NOA2 letter, your approval letter? This is Form I-797, okay? The Notice of Action. This is the Petition Approval Letter. Excuse me, you got your NOA1 letter a long time ago, then you got your NOA2 letter. Bring this letter with you, Miss Beneficiary, Mr. Beneficiary, to your visa interview. Do not forget to bring with you, Mr. Beneficiary, Miss Beneficiary, and your children, a valid passport to your visa interview. The passport should have a validity date that expires at least 6 months plus beyond the period of your stay in the United States. So, unless a country-specific agreement provides exemptions, for example, the U.S. State Department has allowed citizens of Venezuela with expired passports to travel on their expired passports and bring them to visa interviews. Because we don't get along with Venezuela, our embassy doesn't work there, and I'm pretty sure Venezuelans living in other countries do not want to go back to Venezuela to renew their passports. You can imagine why, right? Okay, bring your passports. Bring the medical exam, okay? The K1 beneficiary had a medical exam which is valid for 6 months by an approved doctor authorized by the U.S. Embassy in your beneficiary's country. Okay, for example, Karina is in Colombia, so she has a specific doctor she will go to in Bogota for her K1 visa medical exam, okay? And your vaccinations, don't forget to bring those. And this will be inside an unopened doc letter, okay? An envelope provided by the physician, unless the physician mails the medical exam directly to the K1 visa immigration section at the embassy or at the consulate. Don't forget this. And it expires in 6 months, so if you get your medical exam too early and expires, you're going to have to redo it for your visa interview. Mr. Beneficiary, Miss Beneficiary, you must bring USCIS Form I-134, okay, which is the Declaration of Financial Support. It's got a new name. It's no longer the Affidavit of Support. And I made a video about the new name, okay? This is the original document, I-134, signed in black ink by your U.S. citizen petitioner. Okay? And all the supporting documents that go with the Form I-134. Tax transcripts, tax returns, pay stubs, paycheck stubs, anything financial. Okay? Bring it to your K-1 visa interview. You will need to bring passport style photos. Okay? Submit 2 passport style photos of yourself, Ms. Beneficiary, Mr. Beneficiary, and your children, taken within 30 days of attending the visa interview. Not 31 days, not 35 days, 30 days. I would get a copy of the receipt when you paid for these passport photos to get taken, so you can prove how old they are. Okay? They must be 2 by 2 in size, with specific directions that you have to follow. Okay? And they cannot be mounted or retouched. Don't wear glasses, don't wear earphones, don't wear earbuds. Okay? Mr. Beneficiary, Miss Beneficiary, bring your original full form birth certificate. Okay? Issued by the appropriate local government agency or civil authority. Very important that it is also translated into English by a certified translator if it's in a foreign language. Okay? Very important for you and for any children that are included on the K-1 visa. Also, you're going to need to bring with you divorce decrees, final divorce decrees. So if your sponsor has been married once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, whatever, if your sponsor has been divorced in the past, you must bring the final divorce decrees certified, boom, by the county clerk of the court to the visa interview. Okay? If your sponsor had a marriage that ended in whether his wife died, then you're going to need a copy, or you're going to need a certified copy of the death certificate. Okay? And that applies to you too, Miss Beneficiary, Mr. Beneficiary. If you have been married in the past, you got to prove that you are legally able to marry your sponsor. Final divorce decrees. Police certificates. Now, Miss Beneficiary, Mr. Beneficiary, if you've been living in Philippines, China, Peru, wherever it is you live in the world, okay, you have to bring a police certificate. Now, if you live in communist China, there are specific requirements for police certificates from each district that you may have lived in. So if you lived in 6 different districts in communist China, you got to bring 6 police certificates, certified and translated into English. Now, Karina, my beautiful Prometida, she's from Venezuela. She lived in Venezuela. So we got a police certificate from Venezuela, and she's been a legal resident of Colombia since 2018. So we get a police certificate from Colombia, translated into English by a certified translation company, and these will be uploaded to the MVC processing. But very important, you bring them to the visa interview at the embassy. A police certificate, according to the State Department, is good for 2 years from the date of issue. You must bring, Miss Beneficiary, Mr. Beneficiary, to your K-1 visa interview evidence of your continued relationship with the petitioner, your sponsor, your future husband or wife in the United States. And you must also bring updated letters of intent to get married and proof that you have a valid relationship. Photos, chat logs. You don't have to print a whole bunch of chat logs. In the past, I made a video where you print a whole bunch, but because they scan documents now, you don't need to submit as many. But when you go to your K-1 visa interview, you must bring recent pictures of you together, including your family members, your friends, okay, phone bills, anything to prove that your relationship is still ongoing. But very important that you write two new second letters of intent to get married and have them dated about 2 weeks before your K-1 visa interview. And we made a video about that. You can't go wrong on this channel, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get your K-1 visa successfully, if you qualify. By the time you get ready for your K-1 visa interview at the U.S. Embassy in your beautiful country, wherever it is you live, Miss Beneficiary, Mr. Beneficiary, I am sure that you would have paid your visa fees to the embassy. okay, you're going to have to pay for the DS-160 processing. You're going to have to pay for your medical exam. And then when you get to the embassy, you're going to have to pay a visa interview fee there also. Very important that you review your Packet 1 and Packet 2 data. I've made videos about that. Review the instructions that you receive from the U.S. Embassy or the consulate, and the documents requested that I mentioned may vary slightly, but it's not likely they're going to change. Everything bring to your K1 visa interview. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you must translate any foreign documents in foreign languages required by the immigration officer into English by a certified translator. Okay, your next door neighbor cannot do it. Your buddy down the street cannot do it. It has to be certified translator with a letter of certification. Okay. The K1 visa interview checklist, which I just went over, includes a significant number of documents, ladies and gentlemen. Organize them in a way that you can easily find them during the K1 visa interview, because the consular officer is going to sit from you and say, okay, I need the divorce decrees, please. Okay, show me your photos. And then the consular officer is going to ask you a bunch of questions, and then you will get your K1 visa approved, or it may go to further adjudication because it needs more security checks done on it. Doesn't mean you're denied. It just means it needs more time to get reviewed by the immigration officer. And then once you get your K1 visa in your passport, you can then turn in your keys to your apartment where you live, sell your stuff, buy a plane ticket, and head to the United States. Thanks for watching the videos, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, JB, for this idea for a video. And we will see you very soon in the United States of America with your K1 visa, where you can get married to your sponsor, have lots of children, and start your lives in the United States of America, our constitutional republic. And ladies and gentlemen, of beneficiaries, start learning about the history of the United States. Study up on our Constitution. Learn what your rights are as a future immigrant into our great country. Take care.
I'll be back.